Alright, so I stumbled upon something. It's called Super Cub. Now, what's it called? I just finished watching the second episode. Two episodes were already released, but I didn't know that, the first episode aired last week. I didn't really check or anything like that, but I stumbled upon it. I stumbled upon an anime called Super Cub. It's this season, so it's like, what are we in, spring? So it's spring season, right? And originally I saw it and I'm like, oh, okay, so it's gonna be like Bakuon, right? Bakuon, if you don't know, is an anime about motorcycles and stuff. But it's etchy and what's it called? It's more comedy and stuff like that. It's more expressive like that, and I really like it. I really do. I think it's great. I love the fact that we're seeing motorcycles and stuff like that. So I saw Super Cub and I was like, all right, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give it a shot. I have to. Because if it's like Bakugan, I'm gonna see it. And right off the bat, you can already tell. Okay, no, this is not exactly like Bakugan. It's got a way different feel. It's more different. How should I say? It's more. It's definitely not as active in the sense that like the characters are like super active and like talkative and like they have these what's it called? Exaggerated personalities. I don't know if I want to say exaggerated, but like, it's a big personality change. It's like night and day difference. One feels more realistic and realism, and the other one seems a lot more fun. Not saying that this anime isn't fun, because it is. I enjoyed it. Two episodes flew by real fast because it was so good. So this is the gem that I'm talking about. It's called Super Cub, and as I've already said plenty of times, but I finished watching it and I come to the conclusion that yes, this is very based anime. So first things first, episode 2 is what really sealed the deal for me. See, episode 1 was a little funny because despite Bakuon being so like ridiculous in the way that it is, right? It seemed a lot more realistic in the sense that the main character in Bakuon actually had to like didn't just go to the store, get a bike, get a license, to come back for the bike. No, she actually had to like, it's like, oh, I'm gonna get a bike, etc. Right? And she got a feel for bike from people who know how to, who have bikes and stuff like that. So she had to go to school because I don't know about Japan, but in the United States, if you're under the age of 18, you have to go to driving school in what's it called, pass driving school, and then you'll be able to or apply for your license and stuff like that. Well, once you're 18 or over, you don't have to take the school. You can just go in straight and take the test. This girl's a high schooler, so just like in Bakuman, she should have taken a class. But again, I'm not familiar with Japan at all, so I don't actually know if that's the case or not. But what I'm trying to say is, in this anime, in the first episode, she sees someone riding a scooter and she's like, I don't want to ride my bike up this hill anymore. Which is the same thing as Bakuman, by the way. Bakuman also, she was like, she saw someone going up the hill real fast and what's it called, and she wanted to do that. So stuff like that. So it was funny that it had the same setup for a second. But what's it called? So in this, she goes, she gets a cub. Basically, it's like, I don't have a license. The guy gives her a book. He's like, the test questions don't change. They're all the same. And so I guess she studied it. She went in, got her license back, and I'm just like, so they skipped over the whole, her taking classes and learning stuff. And it's kind of funny because that would have actually been super useful for her probably, because as soon as she gets after she gets her license, she goes back to the shop to get her bike, right? And so she goes and and the guy's like teaching her how to turn it on. I'm like, you would think the government, the Japanese government would not give you. You would think they would not give you a license if you don't even know how to start the bike, And she already knows how to change gears and stuff. So it doesn't make sense that she knows how to change gears with her Super Cub. She knows how to change gears. She knows her indication lines, which is honestly not that difficult to find out. But still, she knows how to do it. She knows how to maneuver the what's it called, the Super Cub around. So it doesn't make sense for that to happen. But she doesn't know how to turn it on. She doesn't know how to turn on the bike, but she somehow figures that out. And she also didn't know to check her gas, because after she gets the bike, she like goes for a late night run at the convenience store. She didn't buy anything, by the way. She was just kind of chilling there for a second. I don't know if she did end up buying anything. I forgot. I know I just watched it, but still. So she comes back, right? And no, she's at the convenience store and she can't turn on her bike. And she's like, "What the hell, no?" And she's scared, and like she opens she remembers the guy said, "I'll put this in the glove box that the motorcycle has, right, or the Cub has." And so she goes through it. She finds the Honda manual. And she has to go through the Honda manual. And the first is like, why won't the bike start? Is like one of the frequently asked questions. Like, and the book is like, does it have gas? And she lifts it up. It's like, oh my god, I have no gas. It's just the funniest thing ever. It's like, you would think you would check your gas. Like, checking your gas is one of the most important like things of all time. Like, I always look at my gas. Like, to be fair to her, the gas is like underneath the seat or something like that, which makes no sense. The gas, the fuel tank, like the gauge, is underneath the seat or something like that. It's not up front. It doesn't make sense. I don't know who designed this Super Cub. Is this legit? Is that how the actual Super Cub is? Like that version that she has, is it actually underneath the seat? That makes no sense. But anyway, she put it on reserve. She made her way to the gas station. She had to use the manual to figure out how to pump gas. You would like, I'm telling you, if she took a driving school or something like that, she would know these simple things. But it's still funny. It's hilarious. So that happens in so that's pretty much the end of it. Episode 2 happens, and episode 2 is where you really get based. This is like Zombieland Saga type base. Zombieland Saga season 1, episode 1 was fantastic. I loved it, but what's it called? It was truly episode 2 that got everybody talking. Everyone was like, oh yeah, this is goated. After episode 2, and episode 2 was like the nail in the coffin. So that's basically what this episode was to me. Episode 2 was the nail in the coffin, and the reason why is because the second character that we're introduced, her name is Reiko. I'm pretty sure her name is Reiko. And so she hears the main character. I don't know her name, but the main character, she basically says in class, because she gets a bunch of fabric for knitting, and the students are like, oh, what are you gonna do with that much blah blah, with that much cloth or whatever, right? And she's like, I'm thinking about making something to hold my helmet and my gloves. Like your helmet and gloves? Like, yeah, for my motorbike, right? And they're like, what, you have a motorbike? It's like, well, it's a Super Cub. It's like, oh, that's more of a scooter, right? And then the girl's like, oh, you have a Super Cub? Let me check it out after school, right? And so it's really, I love the way they do this, to be honest with you. I actually do, because again, like in Bakuman, as soon as they start talking in Bakuman, it's just like bam, it's just at the click of a finger, they're just like best friends. They're all just super comfortable talking to each other. But again, this is more like realistic in a sense. And so what's it called? Even though Reiko said to check it out, she's putting her stuff away, right? And since Reiko's not saying anything to her, she kind of just grabs her bag and tries to dip as soon as possible. And then she kind of halts for a second. She's like, oh, should I go back and talk to her? And she's like, okay, I'm gonna go back and talk to her and see if she wants to check out the bike. But as soon as she turns around, the other girl's there with her helmet and stuff, or with her bag that she made for the helmet. Like, you missing something? And so then it's like, yeah, it's like nervous. And she goes, and so they go check out the Super Cub. And it turns out this girl's like a huge fan, right? Bikes and stuff, so she already knows what she's got. She's even commenting on the helmet and the gloves, and I'm like, alright, it's not that deep, but it is what it is. And then we find out where this show becomes based. This show is based as fuck. It's because of Reiko's bike. She brings it like, oh, I have a bike too. I drove it to school. You want to see it? She's like super excited. She's like, oh yeah. So she brings this fucking bike over, and right off the bat, two things strike to me. One, it's cool. A couple things strike to me. One, it's super cool. Two, it's red with blue wires and shit. So it's like, okay, you got something going on, right? And then three, you have this big ass thing in the back where I'm assuming she puts all her stuff and stuff. Personally, I don't like that, but it's like, apparently it was used for like the USPS, the postal service. Well, not the USPS, but the postal service for Japan. And so that's pretty cool, I like that, but I still don't think it looks good with the big trunk, but it is what it is, So she brings it over and she's all smug and she's talking about it. And this is where you find out the show is a based. She's like, yeah, this is the thing, it's pretty slow as shit, but I boosted it. She got her bike's fucking boost. Okay, so it's not actually boosted. It doesn't have a turbo. It doesn't have a supercharger. Nothing like that, right? It's not actually boosted. But the point is, she upgraded the parts. She upgraded the engine to make it go faster. And so not only that, and then she started talking about her exhaust. She's like, yeah, I got a titanium exhaust. She has a motherfucking Tomei exhaust, bro. She has a motherfucking Tomei exhaust, and it's just the sickest shit I've ever seen. I'm like, oh my god, it's got the fucking, and I know it's Tomei because it has the fucking burnt tips. Like, that's how you know it's an aftermarket exhaust. What kind of aftermarket exhaust doesn't have burnt tips? And I know you guys are already saying, oh, Gretty, oh, this, that, Arc. Actually, no. Padilla has Arc, and his has what's it called, burnt tips. But I think you can have an option to have non-burnt tips. Personally, my exhaust has burnt tips, but if I could, I'd have non-burnt tips because I don't know. It's I mean it's just a design thing, you know. So it's not a big deal. I mean my flames from my car will probably maybe one day get it, but you know it's fine. Burnt tips isn't a big deal, but I prefer polished as like just normal steel as opposed to or the silver color as opposed to burnt tips. But it is what it is, you know, no big deal. So she has a motherfucking Tomei exhaust. Her bike's fucking boosted. I know it's not boosted. I just like saying that it's boosted. But it's sick because she's just so proud of it. It is just like, oh, this anime just has so much. Because you have the person who's, what's it called, done the mods to their shit and they're so proud and they're so smug about it. And it kind of feels like she wanted to just flex on her for a cool sake. But, you know, it is what it is, and I love the awkward conversation they have while they're eating lunch. I love the awkward ass good morning because the girl is like, all right, good morning, and the girl's like, yeah, and then she's like, and then and then what's it called? Lunchtime comes around, she turns down some other people. She's like, no, I'm gonna have lunch with a friend, and she goes like, all right, we're gonna have lunch, and they start talking at the thing, and the conversation kind of just dies, and like the conversation's kind of like low energy and stuff like that, which I love because it's more realistic and awkward and shit, and it's so, oh man, it's just like, and then they talk a little bit and again the conversation just dies because it's like realistic. It's like realistic. You have someone who's super awkward and like socially awkward, right? You're the main character, socially awkward, and you have another character that's not like the most craziest, what's it called, super expressive and like trying to become friends with everybody. You know, she's not too overly. She's kind of like normal, and so like she's just like, well, if she doesn't want to have the conversation, I'm not gonna like force the conversation or anything like that all the time. But yeah, so she has the fucking thing. So yeah, she has the modded bike and stuff. And through the images I'm looking at right now, because I'm actually on Google. You guys aren't seeing this, but I'm on Google right now. I looked up Super Cub anime, and there's a third girl. And it seems to me like she doesn't have. It seems to me like she has a bike, but it's hidden in the back of the post. And so we haven't been introduced to this character, so I don't know what's going on with that. But I think it's super cool to see that. And so, not to see that, to see like, you have this person right here, and then you have the newbie who just got the bike, right? It's like, and like the way she looks at the bike, and it's like everybody's like, it's like when you first get your car, it's like, oh, if you're into cars and shit, you know, I was into cars, so when I got my Z, I was just looking at it and I was like, that's my Z right there. And even now I just look at it, I'm like, that's my Z. I turn on my car, I hear the cold start, I'm like, that's my Z, bro. Admin tuned. It's sick. Oh man, it's so nice. I just saw a Nismo on my way to breakfast this morning with my family after work, and His was nice. His was nice too. I'm not gonna front. His Nismo was nice. If we raced, I'm pretty sure he beat me. I'm pretty sure like after I did, because I had to take a left and he kept going straight. He did a pull or something real quick, and I'm pretty sure I heard him pop, like his car popped. So I was like, okay, he's got it. I can pop flames too, but you know, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. All you really need is test pipes and you can start popping. That don't mean shit. But what's it called? So the fact that, the fact that they included a character who modded their bike, who actually did shit to their bike, like Bakuon, respect to Bakuon, you know, I love Bakuon, it's great. I love the motorcycles they have, but they didn't mod the bikes or anything. They did like a one thing where they tried to mod the bike. Well, actually, there is one modded bike, but it's passed down. It's one of the characters' dad's bikes. So he had it, and it was like a trash bike, but he upgraded it. And I was like, with the most recent parts, this bike's actually pretty good. Just make sure you get the revs up to like, I don't know if it was 5,000 or 6,000, 5,000 RPM. I don't know. He's just like, get it past that, and this thing will start blasting, right? Other than that, what's it called? So there's no modded bikes. There's no like, oh, you know, I got the exhaust. I got whatever the fuck. I don't know how to mod bikes, so I don't know what else you can do to them. Like, I don't know what things you can do. Like, obviously I know about cars, you know, I can do that part, but I can't do bikes. I don't know too much about that. So when Reiko says she has a modded bike, I don't know what the fuck that means. Like, you know, she did things to make it go faster. I don't know what the fuck she did. Did she put a bigger engine? I don't know. The only thing I can really tell is obviously because she said it is the exhaust. It's got the motherfucking burnt tip. She got a Tomei exhaust. It's not actually Tomei because she doesn't say what brand it is. I don't think they can say what brand it is. But I'm just gonna call it Tomei because it's the best. She said titanium, so what's it called? That's titanium. So there's that. So it's great to have something that's actually modded. Like I'm pretty sure someone who watches or not watches, who knows about bikes and stuff like that can probably be like, oh, she probably upgraded this, that. It's the same way I can be like, or she had like. If she had a Z, I can be like, oh, she probably has M in tanks. She probably had Motordyne art pipes. She has Tome exhaust. Maybe she has cams. I don't know. You know, there's a bunch of things you can do with cars, and depending on the type of car, you can do other types of shit that you wouldn't really do, like that you wouldn't do on. It's complicated. The point is, I love the fact that the bike is modded. I love it. I really, really do love the fact that the bike is modded. It makes me wonder if the main character's gonna do anything to her bike. Probably not. I don't think she will. Well, actually, I'm looking at a manga image right now, which is kind of a spoiler. Yeah, it's low key. This is a spoiler, but oh, okay. I'm looking at the image, right? And she adds a basket to it and something in the back. But in the anime, she hasn't done that yet. She's barely just basic stuff. That being said, the main character is super fucking cute. I like her a lot. Her helmet, her gloves is, oh man, she just looks adorable. It's great. I love it. It's so good. They did a good job. I like that helmet. I really do. The other character, the mod Reiko, her helmet is funny. I'm not even gonna lie. It's cool, but taking it all into consideration, it's kind of goofy. Maybe if it was like red and had some like blue tips on it to kind of match the bike, but the fact that it's all blue like that, and it just looks like she's driving a motorcycle, like that's like a motorcycle, like or like dirt bike type of thing going on. But still, it's cool to see unique stuff going on, right? So yeah, so this anime to me is a fucking gem. It's like the opposite end of Bakuon, and I'm all for it because I love Bakuon. But I also like seeing new things, you know, and so this is cool. I love bikes. I love seeing. I don't have bikes. I don't plan on getting bikes because I suck at riding bikes. So I'm not gonna front. I can't ride a bike to save my life. I mean, I can. I'm like swerving on the street with the bike, and I mean like an actual bicycle, not a motorbike. So I doubt I can hang with what's it called, motorbike. But if I ever get big, if I ever make it huge with money, then I'm gonna start getting bikes. I'm gonna get a Rin scooter. I'll probably get these two. I'll get Reiko's and I'll get this main character's bike. We gonna see what's good. I gotta get Rin from Bakumon's bike for sure. That's a must. Oddly enough, Rin from Late Back Camp is also a scooter I'm gonna get. But it is what it is. So yeah, this shit was great. I love it. I can't wait to see more. It seems like there's only gonna be 3 main characters though, and like I said, one of them looks like they just have a regular bicycle. So I think there's only gonna be we're only gonna be talking about 2 cubs, but so it's not gonna have like huge focus on like different types of bikes like Bakuon, because Bakuon goes in. They have Ducati, they have Kawasaki, they have Honda, they have what else do they have? Yamaha. They have a bunch. So you know they have a nice variety. But I don't think this is gonna have that much variety at all. But I'm all for it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm telling you, this is probably the hidden gem that people are gonna overlook or not pick up. Who knows? I like this. That's basically all I can really say is that I just really like this anime so far. It's only been 2 episodes, but still, it is what it is. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'm probably gonna put more time into editing this because I actually have to, because this is I'm only seeing like these 2 pictures, and then the rest is kind of like from the manga. Actually, no, I see a few more screenshots, but I think I'm gonna take screenshots myself because I don't see the exhaust. Like, they're not showing the exhaust from that one girl. So I think I'm actually gonna have to find the anime. I'm actually gonna have to watch it on my PC and take a screenshot of it. I know, right? Amazing screenshots. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye.